Hey guys. It's been a while since I've recorded a video like this, just sitting in front of my microphone at 1:40 a.m. Just kind of sitting here, speaking my mind. It's been a while since I've recorded something like this, so I decided to sit down and record another thing. But this is going to be about a very serious topic of stuff that I've gone through throughout my life, and I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for, oh, I'm sorry this happened to you. This shouldn't have happened. I'm just looking to help people who have been in this situation, who are maybe still in this situation and are unsure if they can find a way out. So, this is my story, and this ties directly into my video on Greasy Mac. It definitely does. Not all of it, some of it does not, but a good chunk of it does. When I was 16, I was in a relationship with somebody who wanted things from me that I was not ready to give, and who harassed me when I wasn't ready to give them. He called me an autistic whore because I didn't want to give him inappropriate material when I was 16. He was also 16, but it does not matter. What he asked from me was very inappropriate, and it was entirely without my consent, because I did not want to do that. I did not want it. And I made it very, very clear that I was uncomfortable. And he kept pressuring me. This is not the last time that that's happened. But this guy has been a moderator in the Greasy Mac community. And I will not call him out by name. I don't want to ruin anybody's reputation. But, I have the screenshots on my old PC. I'm sure of it. I don't have anything on this computer, because I got this computer way after he had been blocked. I can go through the messages again if I need to, because I know his username. He's in my blocked list. I can go through them. But that is not the last time that this has happened. When I turned 18, this was a few months after. This was November, like September, October, November of 2022. I was in a quote-unquote relationship with a guy who mentally abused me in this relationship. I say quote-unquote relationship because that's not what he said it was. He said he was in love with my body and not in love with me. And the way he treated me was not the way you treat another human being. He treated me as if I was a toy made specifically for him, asking me to do stuff that I was definitely not comfortable with. And when I said I wasn't comfortable, he said, okay, how do we get comfortable? He never listened to me. He never actually cared about my feelings in the relationship. And yes, I do consider it a relationship because that was the way he kept me in. by saying it was a relationship, by saying he was falling in love with me for the first time. And that was the way he kept me hooked into this cycle of pain, and it was awful. I don't wish what I went through on anybody. I will also not leak this man's name nor username at the moment. Not unless he decides to spread things about me. I made mistakes, too, but they were not all mine. He physically abused his animals, as he mentally abused me. He took advantage of my innocence and treated me as if I was just a toy made for his pleasure, nothing else. I wasn't a human to him. I was just a doll. The things he made me do that I was very uncomfortable with. I can't even say fully. But I remember saying things to my friends, and they found it uncharacteristic of me. Because it was something that he wanted from me. And I blindly agreed to it because I knew that if I didn't agree to it, he would just move on and find somebody else who would do exactly what he wanted, and I did not want that because I was in love with him. I was actually in love with him. And this is the reason that I am so into K-pop like I am, is because of how I was treated in this relationship. K-pop was an escape for me, an escape from my harsh reality at the time. And as I'm writing, as I'm saying this, it's been 2 years since, and I still haven't forgotten it. I still haven't forgotten the words he said to me. I still haven't forgotten any of it. I still haven't forgotten the things he made me do that I was very clearly uncomfortable with. I haven't forgotten when he made me wear cat ears or a collar. As a demisexual, which means I don't have those sorts of feelings until I really, really get to know somebody. Like, really get to know somebody as a demisexual person. What he did to me was completely against my will. Entirely against my will. And again, I don't wish it on anybody. Not even my worst enemy deserves to go through what I went through back then. And I stayed silent for 2 years. And now I'm speaking out about it publicly. I know that I don't have a big platform, but if I can inspire one person to look at that person who's wronged them and block them and get them out of their life, file a restraining order, if I can help somebody get out of a situation where they feel unsafe and they feel used and they feel hurt by somebody who said that they loved them, that's the best I can do. the reason that I'm editing this myself is because I don't want to put anybody, I don't want to have to put my editor through this. This is my story to tell. So we'll have very minimal editing, but I'll speak more about him. Just give me a second. I met him when I was just starting out Twitch streaming. He was in my chat, and he was genuinely one of the funniest people I've met. He asked me to play D&D with him. I obliged. We talked a lot from then on. Then I had on my camera for a little bit at one point. Turned it off. And then we played chess. And he started flirting with me. And I flirted back because, man, his voice. I loved his voice. I hadn't seen his face, but his face didn't matter to me. I liked his personality. I liked his voice. He didn't have to be overly handsome to be perfect to me. But as I'm looking back on it, I should have realized the signs sooner. He said that my body was beautiful, not me. He only said he loved me when he was trying to keep me close. Otherwise, it was, I'm never going to love you. I just want your body, is what he said. And it's the most sick I've ever felt. Especially because I told everybody about you. When I was in love with you, I told everybody about you. I told all my friends. I was like, this is the most amazing guy I've ever met in my life. I love him. And then you treated me like that? You hurt me? You treated me like a toy? You treated me like I was nothing. And it's the hardest thing I've ever gone through in my life. This is the reason I'm so attached to K-pop now. Is because my favorite K-pop people, my favorite K-pop guys, I don't see them doing this. I don't see them hurting me like you did. Even though I don't know them and will never know them. There are people out there who are better than you and who would treat me better than you ever did. You ever could. Ever. And I hope that no one ever falls in love with you ever again. I hope no one ever becomes a victim to you ever again. And you can take your sorry ass home. When you came back into my friend at the time, my friend's server, and you told the whole group, oh, I'm doing better, guys. We didn't care. We didn't want to hear that. Because all we focused on was how you hurt me. You know, the one who was still in the group, the one who was actively suffering from what you did to me. I understand that you're struggling too, and that it takes two to tango. But what I did will never measure to what you did to me. Never, ever. And I've been used several times in my life. I've been taken advantage of. My consent has been hurt. Like, my consent has been, what's the word? Disregarded several times in my life. Several. I've just named another example in this video. And you know that. You knew that. And what you did to me, never, ever, ever forgivable. I will never forgive you. Ever. Because of how you hurt me. How you almost killed me. If it wasn't for K-pop, I wouldn't be here anymore. Because of how you treated me. Of what you did to me. I wouldn't be here. If you are struggling and you don't feel safe in a relationship and you need to get out of there, if you feel like you need to get out of there, please do what you can and get out, because it is not safe, it is not fun, it is scary, and I don't wish what happened to me on literally anybody at all. So if you're going through this, please block the person. Because you come first before any stupid little person. Anyways, thank you for listening. This won't have an intro or an outro. This will probably be edited very minimally. Doubt it will have a thumbnail. But thank you for listening. And have a great day or night, everybody. Bye.